Welcome back to Surrendered Image Video. My name is Greg Gay, and we're going to talk again here about doing the right thing. We're in part 3 of 3. Is it always right to do the right thing? That's the question we've been asking you over the last few days, and we kind of took this and interviewed our friends in a few different ways. So the first thing we told them, though, is that these questions that we asked them, there was no right answer necessarily, and I'd like you to think about them too as we go through. So, here we go. Would you pray for someone of the opposite sex by putting your hand on their shoulder?
You know what? I would say that it depends on the relationship that they have with my partner. So I would say that if they were a close friend, I absolutely wouldn't mind. If they're somebody that is a stranger to me, I would probably I would share with them that I felt bad for them and that it was something that that it was very important for me to hear, but I would then direct them to somebody who would definitely be there for them that was more of the acceptable, like my husband or a good friend.
But you can always put your hand on Greg.
I can always put my hand on Greg because Greg is my friend and is your friend.
Would you spend a weekend camping with your family instead of going to church?
Well, yep.
Yeah, I would. Sure. Yeah. If I did it every weekend, I'd probably have, I'd start to wonder a little bit about where I was headed or in terms of like what's going on in my life that makes me always choose other things. But yeah.
Makes
Oh yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Would you fight in a war to protect your country?
See, this is one of those things where I believe I would have to see what the Holy Spirit is telling me to do, because it's easy to give one pat answer to say yes or no, but wars are fought for a million different reasons, led by good leaders, by bad leaders. Sometimes there's family needs that a person needs to attend to that are critical. And this is where we go back to the previous question, I believe, about what does the Holy Spirit tell you to do? And I know we're supposed to respect and obey the leaders that God's placed there, but I also believe that there's a timing to things, and God also has a way of working things out, so we have to be attentive in big decisions like that to what the Holy Spirit is guiding us to do.
If you lived in Nazi Germany during World War II, would you hide Jews in your home, causing extreme risk to you and your family?
You know what? I would do anything for anybody if it meant that they were if they had God in their heart and they were somebody that was definitely going, fearing for their lives. I hope they do it for me, regardless of being a Jew. So absolutely, I would do anything it took.
Would you ever purposefully lie or break any of the 10 Commandments?
I would struggle with that, but there are times where I probably would consider doing it. Yes. Yeah. To me, it's like a line that I'm crossing, and there had better be a really good reason for crossing it. I better believe that the greater will of God is being done. Yeah.
What would you do if you were hiding Jews in your home and the Nazis showed up at your door asking if you had any Jews in your home?
I would likely lie.
Would you become part of an assassination plot to basically take out Hitler and save millions of innocent Jews?
Only if I could pull the trigger.
I like this guy.
Yeah, he's doing great. Yeah. You know what the next question was? Is would you pull the trigger?
Oh, there you go. Yes, I would.
Would you take a job offer as a spy to protect your country if the pay was in the 6-figure range?
Even less.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a spy, your success at obtaining information will literally save the lives of hundreds of millions of innocent people. You have been told to succeed at all cost. Would you comply with your handlers and have an illicit affair to obtain the information if that is the only way you could obtain it?
No, absolutely not, actually. I would have to say, I would have to say to them at that point, sorry, but all that work was done in vain, I guess. You get nothing.
Would you reconsider for 7-figure salary?
No,
Millions.
no.
Millions.
I couldn't live with myself at that point. No.
One real interesting question we could ask in the context of all of this is, would you condemn those who have done this very thing for you and your country? This exact kind of thing happened, folks, in World War II. If you read the book Double Cross, you see how there were special agents that were willing to do anything to get the information from the Germans, from the Nazis, that were required to crack the codes to be able to spy and decipher their information. It gave us a huge advantage in D-Day. There were lots of things that went on. Those people saved probably hundreds of millions of lives, and the world would be a complete and total different place today. It had a lot of people that weren't necessarily doing the right things and living exactly by what we would think of as the letter. Is it possible to do the right things and to be completely out of God's will and to not know his heart? Absolutely, as we look at that picture of these angry Pharisees. Is it possible to do the wrong things and to be unsuccessful and to be right in the middle of God's will? Absolutely it is. If you look at what Jesus went through here, the abuse that he took for us. You know what? One final question for you. Do circumstances ever trump morality? Can you envision a circumstance that you could find yourself in, even today or tomorrow, where it actually might be wrong to do the right thing? Is it always right to do the right thing? I suggest you read Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Martyr, Prophet, Spy. An excellent book about a man who had to deal with some of these very issues in Nazi Germany with a pastor. He thought things were real cut and dry, simple, and Dietrich Bonhoeffer had to make a lot of these decisions and go through some of these things. You need to check it out. You know what? Get a hold of me, Greg at surrenderedimage.com. I'd be glad to hear from you with any questions you might have. Check out our website at surrenderedimage.com. Catch you next time.
Thank you very much, Dr. John.
Thank you, sir.
We'd just like to thank
You'll see
you so
when he
much.
edits this. It's actually pretty
And,
cool. He's put together this whole presentation, right? It's actually pretty cool. But it requires like random people answering the. Well, you're not so random, sorry, but you know, that's the good thing about Reels. We can pick and choose who we want.
Cut, stop.